Ready? Aim!
There's too many!
Anyone see my mammoth?
Stubby! Hello! I may have, I was half asleep there. I may have started a stream on the wrong stream thing. So I hope everyone is well today. I hope everyone is well. How are people doing on this absolutely fine day? This absolutely fine day. So let's talk about what we're doing. What are we doing? What day is it today? Who even knows? Right, it's Monday. I'm back. I'm blurry because clearly everything just breaks as soon as I go to start an episode. It's just like classic now. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. I'm not gonna lie. Again, my the episode this week is probably going to be quite short, at least shorter than what I normally say when it comes to episodes. Christoph says, "Great, I'm painting my hedge knights next to your stream." Yes, that is what we like to see. I am all about the painting at the moment. I've been in a bit of a binge. Shall I? Evening or Vaseline on the camera? Yeah. Look, Vaseline on the camera. If I just rub it off, oh my god, that actually did make it better. There isn't Vaseline on the camera. Let's just let it refocus. There we go. The software that I use is crashed clearly, so I'll fix it after this. Right. Cool. Yeah. So camera stuff. You guys paint miniatures? Yeah, Mikkel. I know, right? Paint miniatures. I've been using my Mag the Mighty as somewhat a bit of inspiration for my next project. And I did say he was coming. But I'm doing 1-1, so I can't. Right, obviously he's not painted yet, but you'll notice this isn't the 1-1 pose that you've probably seen before. I had to sculpt a new hand and everything like that. So yeah, that's my 1-1, and yeah, I've got some other stuff as well which I won't show today. I'll post pictures of that when it's finished. But Jesus Christ, trying to do certain things. Yeah. All right. Cool. Anyway, what am I doing with my life? Yeah. Cool. There's been some releases, right? Oh, not releases. I really don't want to tell people 1-1 scale with you. Yeah, 1-1 and me are the same size. Hang on. If I hold him here, 1-1 is now bigger than me. Look, 1-1 is literally bigger than me. And in fact, if I move him to here, he's pushing my head down. No. Anyway, I'm going insane, clearly. Cody says I've just been staring at some Royal Guard with no idea how to paint them. Paint. That was probably the least useful, most condescending answer you could possibly imagine, Cody. Just get it started. Honestly, I know it seems really weird, Cody, but just get started. My current project I was looking at, and you just have to just get started. So yeah. Try not to beat around the bush too much. Just open one up, open the box up, undercoat and then just pick up a colour, and you think, right, I'm gonna think, this is probably gonna be on it, and I'll just throw it on. Yeah, it's there isn't really much to it apart from that. All right, so I guess. I'll first of all I'll just briefly talk about last week's episode or not. Last week there wasn't an episode. Go figure. As I say, I've been going through some stuff in my personal life at work and things like that, which I won't go into in great detail. But it's just meant I've got a lot of time, and unfortunately I got some bad news last week on Monday, and again I've been not really wanting to talk to people, or at least not face to face. I know that I'm not talking to anyone now. Technically, I'm. There's 24 people watching. Thanks, by the way. But like there is an element of social energy that gets used up when doing episodes like this. So yeah, sometimes you just don't have that really, and you'd rather just throw on something like Age of Empires 2 and spend the night not talking to anyone, or painting a model, which has been this week as well. So I am back though for now today to talk about some of the bits of information that we have had come out. So I believe we have got some basically announcements, right? Announcements for stuff that is due out and some models that were previously unseen. Now I will load these up here. So we have these cool things, are very small images. I apologize in advance. These are the best we have. These, for those of you who haven't seen these, are the Bolton Banners, coming hopefully along with the Bolton starter sets. Afternoon datalink, evening datalink for me, afternoon for you. Yeah, so Bolton Banners, which I think look quite cool. I have to admit it's a bit of a weird one because I'm very used to seeing the upside down flayed men banners, which are from Chris. See, it's got fuzzy again. You see, they're from Chris F&M in the UK. So he does those most of the time, and yeah, those are nice banners, and I'm so used to seeing them that like seeing somebody else's banners is like. These are nice. These are potentially a nice thing, but I'm not as fussed about it. There you go. See, restart the software. It all loads up perfectly fine. So there's that. We do get to see though the Spearmen. If you haven't seen these guys, bad boys. Zoom out a little bit. Get them on screen. Says the Bolton Spearmen there. There's 3 of them. Take the Vaseline off the image, says Carly. Announcement for Canada. Bolton's delays. Data. Is that news? Is that today's news? Is that literally today? Or I'd be interested if you could update me on that one, Data. Because I've not heard that. That doesn't mean it's not true, of course. But I'd like to think I'd pick it up. It says some of the Bolton images there. Let's load up the other Spearmen. Oops. There you go. They look cool. Look cool there. They look nice models. Better than the renders we had previously. There's the image quality's crap, so just bear that in mind. Nothing you can do about that, unfortunately. But we also see here the Bolton Archers as well, looking pretty fly for a bunch of who I assume are white guys. So hopefully these will be what we see coming out in the future. Yes. So we also have. I do apologise. My dog is giving me a hard time. We also have. There's the other half, by the way, of the Archers. We also have some announcements that I believe would come out from France, and I'm just going to double check what we've got here regarding it. But I believe France have posted some dates earlier today. Specifically, Maxi Reeves. Maxi Reeves met the guys. That was the guys I met over in France at the French national tournament. The ones that sponsored it with the sword and everything. So they're a seller of the game in France. Go figure. And I believe they also have a store in London. They have quoted these dates for release. So that is Martell's on the 28th. That's Darkstar's Retinue. We've also got the Pit Fighters, the Gold Cloaks, and Neutral Heroes 3 coming out 11 days from now. So when is that? That'll be end of next week. Yeah, Friday next week. And then they're expecting to see the Martells on the 1st of the 9th. So basically a month and a half from now, give or take, right? About a month and a half from now, and that'll be Martell's Hero 2, and then the Bolton first wave, but not the Bolton starters, which aren't available until October. Just seen on the Seamon page, some worker strikes, so logistics. Yes, there is actually a postal strike, I believe, happening in the in the US, I believe. it's not actually a Canadian problem, I don't think, technically. I don't know. It's a weird one. I heard about it the other day anyway. Just because I heard about it doesn't mean anything. I could be very wrong. Let's check out. Let's check out the. There we go. Yeah, 5 of our next releases will be delayed in the US and Canada due to an ongoing labour strike by Canadian port workers. Yeah, it's not just Canadian port workers. I believe there's been some issues. But yeah, so update news is the labour strike has come to an end and won't be able to resume shipping. However, please note there may be some minor delays in delivery to the US and Canada. So I think that's actually the other point I was going to make, and we'll get into that in a second. So we'll come back to that in a minute. But yeah, so I mean we can probably see that we're going to get some results soon from various different stuff coming out. Like we're going to see some of the new stuff actually hitting shores, at least in September, which is promising. Very, 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 very promising. I don't know how much will shake up the game. Of course, Neutral Heroes 3 and Martell's Heroes 2 always have the opportunity to shake the game up. We will see the impact of Boltons. I'm apprehensive, but I am, optimistic as well in that I do think that this is positive. It's positive that we are seeing worldwide releases, and it's positive that they've what it looks like is it looks like they've actually sorted out the release schedule, which that's a good thing, right? It is a good thing if they've sorted out the release schedule. So happy days. We also saw some other pictures as well come out in the last kind of couple of weeks. So here we have our Lannister Gold Cloaks, new renders for the Lannister Gold Cloaks, which I don't believe had been seen prior to today. Can't remember if they're on the last episode or not. Looking pretty fly for some Lannister Cloak guys. You can see the theme I'm going for today, can't you guys? Wait, so Darcy strategy is coming this month? Yes, Tristan. Yeah. Darkstar Retinue potentially as early as this month. 25th August pre-order for Xatu on all Bolton stuff. Yeah, I mean Xatu. I'm always very hesitant with Xatu, Carly, because Xatu people could pre-order Martells like donkeys years ago, and they obviously didn't get delivered on. So just be wary of that. We also saw the Targ Pit Fighters get their models kind of spoiled or released as well, and yeah, I mean the guy with the woman with the spear is, I have to admit, like I don't know if I like the pose that much, but is a significantly better model than the Spearwives, whom, if those of you who are relatively new to the channel or have never seen me talk about sculpts I like or dislike, I bloody hate the Spearwife sculpts. I think they're really not good. This looks much better. I think the guy with the double-handed axe looks so much like the old Conan the Barbarian with the double-handed sword pose that it is what it is there. The other two are fine. They look like the most generic kind of like gladiatorial combat pose type things and units. They'd be perfect for stuff like D&D and things like that as well. Dating Sync, no attachment in the Pit Fighters. Yeah, no attachment in the Pit Fighters. Sadness. Absolute sadness. What else have we got? What else have we got that's happened in the last couple of weeks? Well, we had some tournaments, which we'll get onto in a minute. I've also got some other bits and bobs to mention as well. I think that's pretty much it in terms of news, though. We've seen no actual new units or anything like mentioned, no new like names or anything like that. Yeah, we will see if anything else kind of crops up. But I think in terms of units, we have not seen anything that hasn't already been known about. I guess they did show the back of the box, which, oh yeah, there's a weird one on the back of the box. some of the backs of the boxes were revealed, including the back of this box here, in a much clearer detail. You still can't read the tactics cards and stuff. But the weird one here is the we counted them. The Bolton box has, where is it? 13 attachment cards, which doesn't make a huge amount of sense if they come with Bolton and non and neutral versions as well. So there was a bit of debate over what those 13 attachment cards would be, assuming you get Roose Commander, Ramsay Commander, Roose Commander neutral, Ramsay Commander neutral, Reek neutral and non-neutral, but he may only come in the neutral variant. Dreadfort Captains, 2 of them. Neutral, non-neutral. Bolton, sorry. Flair neutral. So that's 6. And then the 4 commanders takes you to 10. And then Ramsay Snow attachment, Bolton and Ramsay Snow attachment neutral takes you to 12. And then Reek, they may only have printed 1 card and may have a special rule saying that he can be taken in Bolton armies. Let's have a look. What else are you saying? The Gate Warden is the attachment in the Gold Cloaks. Yes, the Gate Warden, but we have no idea what he does. Anders says you think it's weird we don't know the rules yet. Anders, the thing is that, yeah, it is a bit weird, but like, usually rules leaks have come from people getting them early or someone revealing what they are. And the thing is, like, kind of in like a good way and kind of in like a bad way, the rules leaks have come about because the distribution's been crap, right? What we haven't seen, which we have seen previously, is we've seen no mention of any of this stuff on like the China end of the scale. Like, a lot of the old leaks used to come from Chinese leaks, basically. They were nearly always Chinese factory leaks. If Seamon have kind of like shut that leak passage down, there's a good chance we won't find out anything about them. But it is weird that no one has mentioned about them, and we'll come on to that in a minute. I thought it was a highway robbing Seamon trucks. Yeah, I mean, it was probably also a highwayman robbing Seamon trucks. This is Seamon we're talking about. But no, like, to be actually fair to them, a lot of the previous ones were most likely revealed from the factory end, and while that is still Seamon's responsibility, it's not necessarily within Seamon's power to do much about the factory. Of course, changing your method of production, seizing your method of production, as the communists would say, or something like that, right? Yeah, that would be the solution there. Yes, that is that. What is it? High Hemorrhage Sentinel is attached in... High Hemorrhage Sentinel. Is that the right wording, Carly? Yeah, the hero boxes do allow us to know what we're getting there, though. And the hero boxes are actually very savage. If those of you haven't seen the hero boxes are super, super savage. Now, I'll try and find the exact contents lists for you. Let's have a little look here. Yeah. So we've got the Martell's hero box here, which I will bring up. Ta-da! So we can see here, this is the kind of same discussion we've had in the box previously. This is the miniature market one. See, I thought the miniature market one had the contents in it as well, which it doesn't. Yes, I can't remember where the other bits of information are, which is my fault. I should have been paying better attention for that. If in doubt, Carly's already collated, I believe, what she has on this particular case, or what they have on this. Let's have a look at her article. Yeah, so we get 1 NCU card, 6 tactics cards, and 8 attachment cards. So the new deck, probably Shay is, let's be honest, Shay is most likely to be the NCU, if any of them are. Maybe Arya, doubt it. But only 1 NCU is pretty savage. What I did consider enemy attachment, neutral enemy attachments, which could be someone like Shay and Arya and people like that. so just bear that one in mind. So there's that. You'll also find it, so 6 attachment cards and 1 commander card. So you've got 6 attachments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So ignoring Shay, and then a commander card. So you can take probably Steelshanks Walton, who will come as the commander. Oh no, it's not Steelshanks Walton, is it? I keep thinking it is. It's not. It's the. I want to call the Weeper. It's not the Weeper. The name has just completely gone to me. What's his name? It's this guy. His name, Jackim and... Oh, someone's going to have to help me on the High Hermitage. Okay. Someone's going to have to help me on his name. But yeah, he... it's going to really annoy me. The Widower. The Widower. Thank you. No one said anything, but I just had the reminder. The Widower. The Widower is likely to be the commander version and the attachment version. But yeah. Only 1 NCU means the meta probably won't shake that much up unless it's a big enemy attachment type thing or an NCU type thing. Halberdiers obviously seen. They're cool. Yeah. Fine. Stoneshore Pillagers, fine. Umber Ravagers, fine. Giant Spear Throwers, fine. God, they look so dumb. So Darkstar's Retinue, it does come with the High Hermitage Sentinel. High Hemorrhage Sentinel. You might want to correct that one, Carly. So yeah, we'll see. That'll be this bloke here with the cool sword. So that's awesome. And then we've also got the Lannister Gold Cloaks, which is great, who come with the Gate Warden. Again, not sure which one the Gate Warden is, if any. Might be this guy in the middle here. So loads of stuff is potentially coming out, and let's be face it, some of this stuff is legitimately coming out in the next kind of couple of weeks. So this is the Frontline Gaming article written by Carly. By all means, check that out. And if that's coming out in the next couple of weeks, the game might change. But like as we said before, there is nothing for us to suggest that what we've just seen is going to change the game significantly. Just because if it does change the game significantly, we're into sad days. Because the stuff probably means that stuff's like brokenly good. So that's what we've seen there. What else have we had? We have had some people talk about painting earlier on. I was talking about painting. We have had a lot of people send me pictures. A couple of weeks worth of pictures to go through. And I'm going to apologise for the people who did send them through to me, because I'm only just getting around to showing them off now. Okay? I'll have to go back in like reverse order. So first of all, we have Willy Bunks. Now, Willy Bunks, Nathan, yeah, it is Nathan, isn't it? Yeah. He sent me his fully painted army when he went to his first tournament. Went to a tournament with his Lannisters, and it was their first time outing as a fully painted army. And he just got back from another event this weekend where he had his Targ army in tow, fully painted. So he thought he would send some pictures in of his Targ army to show off its full painted glory, and full painted glory it is, good sir. Although, like yourself, your image taking, your photo taking might leave some element of skill to be desired. I'm terrible at taking photos as well, Willie, though. Don't worry. But yeah, I mean the whole piece is amazing, right? The tactics board is brilliant. The NCUs are great detail. And then the cavalry is brilliant as well. I mean, one thing that we've said many a time, right, is that the cavalry for this game, the cavalry models, are lovely models. And what you've done there with the Drogon is nice as well. I love the Drogon. He actually looks scary and like a dragon. At least they look good while losing. Yes, Nathan, there it is. Hey, they look good regardless of winning, losing. They just look great. The backdrop you also chose was actually quite stylish as well. That's good. So yeah, that was Nathan's. So you want me to say it, and I'll say it. And it's not the same as when Carlo's here, right? But dem some big fat zeros. Okay. Next up, these were sent in by Kurt, good old friend Kurt, and these are some lovely Rose Guard. Rose Guard? Rainbow Guard. Why do I think Rose Guard? Probably because I saw Loris's roses on his shield there. This is your Rainbow Guard, and yes, indeed, they have their Rainbow Cloaks, in case you hadn't seen that. Dem Rainbow Cloaks. There we go. Absolutely lovely. Like, the cloaks are actually really well done. I was really impressed with the cloaks. The clean edging and the highlighting and everything like that is really good. I've been painting a white cloak recently, and well, I'll reveal this is part of my 1-1 modelling, and if anyone knows this, well, we'll see. I found this incredibly difficult to do because I'm not that good a painter, so hopefully you'll all appreciate it. Oh god, this is the time where you really want the camera to be not focused on me. Can I go for... Let's have a little look. No. No, the simple truth is I can't show you a bigger picture of my face because I don't have that set up. I deleted it. Oh well. Right. So, I'll just have to show it up there. That is a cloak that I've had to do. Now, if anyone knows of a knight with blue stars on his cloak, you have my... there's supposed to be stars anyway. Again, the camera can't pick them up. If anyone knows of a knight with blue stars on his cloak, among other things, feel free to leave a message in the comments. I don't even know if Marwin and Kevin is still watching these episodes, but Kevin, if you're still watching these episodes, mate, it's one for you, and it's for the real lawsters that know 1-1 and 1-1's law. So yeah, that's what I'm working on there. But yeah, so cloaks, Kurt, Belisarius, yeah, fantastic, love it, great to see it, good work. Let's get one more here as well. It's the front of the unit. Respect from myself. Actually, I didn't notice that. It's Bryce, isn't it? Bryce Karen, the orange. I really like that colour of armour, like the brass orangey armour. I really like that. I hadn't really noticed that before. This one here. And Palm and Crane is also quite nice. Let's zoom right in. These two. I quite like these two. They've got a nice hue to the armour that I quite like. Not to say the others I don't like, but specifically these two, I really quite like. I like the red, but it always reminds me of like vampires, like vampire counts red from back in the day. And I'm never sure with like Brienne's blue armor like this. I always think it should be more steel, and it's the steel blue, but that's just me. Personal taste, isn't it, rather than anything else. But no, those two really like. But yeah, so really nice that, and the basing obviously absolutely gorgeous as well. All right then. So that is some of the images, but it's not the only ones, right? I did have some more, and this next one, this next lot is from a couple of the guys who I believe are from Germany, who watched the show, and they sent me a message about 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and they said they sent me some stuff and they really wanted me to show it on here, but alas, I haven't. Simeon Stargus, that guy. You mean Tutu? Patrick! Yes, Anders. Patrick. Sir Patrick of King's Mountain is a knight from King's Mountain in the service of King Stannis Baratheon. One of those queens men that he accidentally kills. Anders, accidentally. Yeah, no. I'll put it together. This is what it'll look like. It's not, again, this is nowhere near finished, so just bear that in mind. Talk about sneak peek previews, eh? I believe he smushes Sir Patrick into a tower. So here we go. 1-1. Smashing Sir Patrick into a tower. and I'm actually going to give it homage. If anyone knows the reasoning that this happens, by the way, yeah, he also rips off his sword arm, which is yet to be done, but is here. If anyone knows how this ended up in the book, this actually has a story of why it is in Game of Thrones, or it's actually in Dance with Dragons, but why it's in Dance with Dragons. And if anyone knows why this is in Dance with Dragons, or wants to find out why it's in Dance with Dragons, the story is freaking hilarious. This character, literally, like Sir Patrick, literally only exists because George R.R. Martin won a bet, and the story of why it's in there and like how it fits into the canon and the theme is quite funny. So if you don't know, look up Sir Patrick. The Giants winning. Yeah, the Giants beat. I'm just revealing it straight away, aren't I? Yeah, he had a bet with his mate that the Giants would beat the Dallas Cowboys. Hence the reason the Blue Stars, Dallas Cowboys, blue and white, versus the New York Giants. And the New York Giants absolutely thrashed them. So George R.R. Martin wrote in the books that the giant literally kills Sir Patrick, who represents the thing as well. So just like inspired by my good friend Chris F&M, when it's finally finished, I will also have an American football. You can barely see that because it's so small compared to everything else. There you go. Try and do that. Oh God, I want you to see my hand. There we go. You can see it there. That little brown pebble is actually an American football that's yet to be finished and painted. That will be present on the base as well, giving homage to the actual lore itself. So anyway, I did say we got some stuff from our some friends in Germany. So this is La Pulse, who contacted me originally, and or Florian as he's known, and it was his friend Hedge Knight who wanted to send some pictures in, and we've got a bit of a treat for you here. All hail the New York Giants! Yes. So the reason I say this is a treat is it's someone painting Free Folk and sending in pictures of Free Folk, and who doesn't love some nice pictures of Free Folk? Here we go, some Frozen Shore Hunters. And if there's anything that we need to learn from the Hedge Knight, his basing is brilliant. Like honestly, like I'm not a big fan. I mean, a bit of a Carlo. I'm not a big fan of adding lots of extra height to bases, and Carlo would hate it. But my God, are the bases on these models superb? Like everything through to like the edges of the bases having the continuation of like the streams of color and everything like that. I love it. I absolutely love this. And this isn't just one unit, by the way. This is an entire Free Folk army. So we've got Varamir. We've got those Free Folk hunters. We've got a Shadowcat, worst model in the range. Called it multiple times before. A pack of wolves. We've got an eagle. Now I will say, love the basing on the eagle on this. Again, like I really like that basing. There's something really for those of you who play what was it? The name's just gone. Oh no! It's a board game. It's about birds. Oh, I've forgotten the name. Oh no! Oh, it was literally there on tip of tongue. Yeah, if it's a board game, it's very popular. Wingspan. Oh God, there you go. Came back. Wingspan. If anyone here has ever played Wingspan, this always like I saw this the first time. I was like, this just reminds me, I'm sure, of something in Wingspan. But yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. We've got more. We've got 1/1, but of course, you know, an unedited 1/1. He's gone for the classic pose. I have to admit, not a fan of it. Not the model's done well. He's done well with the 1/1 there, but I just don't like the pose. I think he looks silly, stupid. We've got Mag, who doesn't love a nice painted Mag? Thumbs up from me. We've got normal Savage Giant, and I really like this. I actually really like. What I would say here is I think the skin of this Savage Giant shows off how good the Hedge Knight is as a painter. Yeah, everyone said Wingspan. There you go. Because there's a bit of a delay in chat. Everyone's saying Wingspan straight away. Yeah, the skin on this giant, you can tell like with the brush strokes and everything like that, is really nice. I really like the way he's done the skin on this particular giant. I don't know if we saw it as much with Mag and 1-1, but yeah, I really like this style. But yeah, well done for that. We also have, and this may have been something that people have seen before, but sod it, you'll all enjoy it anyway. We do have a conversion. And I'm a big fan of people making conversions. Don't get me wrong, well-painted stuff is like good. I really like stuff that's been converted or slightly changed and edited, because I think that really shows dedication. And you can see there, that's a giant riding that mammoth. And yeah, that must be a bloody tall miniature now. Absolutely massive miniature. There we go. Can you call him a miniature if he's no longer small? Is he just a model? But yeah, there you go. So thank you very much, Hedge Knight, for sending those in. I think he's known by Rolf. I think he's known goes by the name of Rolf. So thank you very much for that, buddy. Absolutely lovely models. Yeah, can't thank you enough for sending these in. It's lovely to see armies and everyone there who sent some stuff in. It's fantastic to see, and I really love seeing the painted stuff. And I'm like, everyone here knows that I am not the most prolific painter probably by this point. You're probably aware of that. I really enjoy getting your stuff come through because it means I get a little bit more kind of like motivation to paint myself. And it does make a difference. It does make a difference indeed. All right, I also had some pictures this is from Monsters and Munchkins, or Papa Nurgle. This is from an event yesterday. Not yesterday, Saturday. He was a small event. But again, it's more painted minis. And who doesn't like to see some more painted minis? We've got New Great John and a bunch of other stuff there. Tully Cavaliers, Shaggy Dog, that kind of thing. This one, this was a particularly cool one I did see. That is obviously a Dragonstone Noble. A Dragonstone Noble with "Ours is the Fury" written on his caparison on his horse. Yeah, love it. Absolutely love that. It's little details like that you just gotta love, haven't you? There was also some other painted armies, some relatively nice ones. I'll just flash some of those up, including, of course, Friendly Neighborhood Willy Bunks was there. Some nice free folk there. Looking good. The other half of the free folk. Good theme on the base there. Love that. There's an Easter egg point there as well, which I'll show you afterwards. And then we also said this is the full Baratheon army in its full glory. You can see that there. Really nice. Consistent. Good quality. Love it. There was also this. And this is honestly the funniest shit I've seen in this game for a while. Oh, every time I see this, it just makes me smile and laugh a little bit. Look at him! Look at him! He looks so happy! He just looks so happy to be here. This is... We've been through a lot together. Cody, is that your Baratheons? Or is this, do you mean this is your Wilhelm? This is a weirwood tree that has the name of Wilhelm. This is literally Wilhelm the weirwood. Yeah, he just looks so happy. Oh, I love shit like this. The reason I love shit like this is that like it's not necessary. Nothing about like the basing that I've done here is necessary. It's just it just shows you the kind of like what people will do if you just give them time and let them make stuff. Like we see it with Brian all the time in the UK, these massive display boards he makes. Nobody asks Brian to go away and make display boards. He just kind of gets an idea, goes away, makes an awesome display board, brings it back and says, "Hey guys, I've got this massive thing that you have to put up somewhere," and we'll go, "Fuck's sake, Brian," and then we look at it and go, "That's pretty good." So yeah, it's shit that like Brian does. It's people who've done something like this. It's unnecessary, but it is brilliant. I absolutely love it. You played him as a proxy giant in the store league. Proxy giant. Can you imagine seeing that across the table? I can. Brian saying he can understand how they chopped it all down. It's the stuff of nightmares. Oh, don't say that about Wilhelm. Looks great. Now that's a morale boost. Yeah, love it. This is a 10 out of 10. Wilhelm. This is a Wilhelm out of 10. That's what that is. +1 out of 10. Cool. Yeah, no, fantastic there. Obviously, that's just from. That is literally just pictures of like what people were entering and what people were having as models and armies at the event there. And it was only a small event, but it's an event nonetheless. So yeah, fantastic to see. I might have to do something clever with Wilhelm and like cut him out of the picture or something like that, and then use him as a random thing in a new video. I was getting actually at that point. I'm getting really bored of the same opening. The same opening video because I've not changed it all season. I haven't changed it for 2 seasons now, which is really like kind of crappy, or a season and a half. So I should probably spend some time editing the new video. But on the plus side, some of the changes means I will be working from home more often. So yeah, that'll be something I can probably do with kind of like the extra time I have at my computer, where I can set it doing what it needs to do, as well as doing a lot more painting. All right then. We did have a couple of events run this weekend as well. We'll look into some stuff in the future. But specifically, the Northern California Regionals at Great Escape Games took place. And the reason I wanted to bring about this particular thing to bring people's attention to it is good friend Carl ran the event, I believe, was responsible for helping run it. And we saw the Northern California Regionals run. And it was a healthy turnout. You can see the Carl there looking incredibly happy. Look at him. Look at him over on the right-hand side with his Targaryen t-shirt. So happy. I love how the guy in the red with like sunbursts on his shirt looks like he's wearing like a Martell shirt. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Love to see it. Those are the guys there. You'll also notice that there is a rather large seat in the middle of these people. And here is Carl sitting on said seat. This is not a random thing. This is a chair literally made by Carl that I know he was working on, and I'm not joking when I say this. Carl was working on this, I think, like a year ago. Probably even longer. Again, in chat, you can probably tell me when he started. But I remember talking to him about this, and I had like this idea of what he wanted to make, and who he wanted to give it along to someone who won the regionals and things like that. And you can see here he's like absolutely ecstatic, obviously about sitting on it and being there, but like finally being able to give it away. Literal years, as far as I remember rightly, and I want to say it was a year and a half ago when he first mentioned it. Years of hard work. And the good news is, and it's little stories like this. Let's send him all the swords Carlo's won. Carlo hasn't actually got that many swords. He's got like full-on trophies. But the other good thing about it is, and I won't share the picture, but Carl's son has picked up the game and has picked up Martell's. So there are now two in the family playing the game. And yeah, Melt them down then to the others. Yes. So yeah, no. Congrats, Carl, obviously for keeping that scene going and for doing all you've done, and also for that awesome prize. Love me a chair. So that is that event there. What else was I going to mention? Ah, yeah. I think the other thing I was going to mention was the fact that Seamon. Well, I mean, let's be honest, right? The moment I start talking about Seamon, people usually go, "Oh, that's pretty bad." I'm optimistic, right? I'm optimistic, and I'm pleasantly surprised. This is the Seamon. For people don't know, this is the Song of Ice and Fire Tabletop Miniatures game YouTube channel. So, for those of you who don't know, this is the place where they do a lot of their announcements. You can see here that they posted this on the 14th of July, which was, 3 days ago? We see the update coming in 1 hour ago. Yeah, and they were honest. Like, they were saying, there is a delay. Yeah? Is there any... isn't their July release scheduled? Martel Spearman says it. Yes, we're expecting both to be short on July 28th. They are now communicating and talking to some people, right? They are responding. There is things happening. 5 days ago, they talked about the prize support, and this was with, I believe, this is High Ground Hobbies, yeah? They were supporting, right? And the prize support that was offered by Seamon here, and the other support that they had, yeah? We also saw them talk about 7 days ago, the Polish Championships, yeah? To say, get yourself signed up and go along in October. A few days before that, they did a highlight on the Strategicon in Greece, which we mentioned as a Greek event happening that weekend, and they went ahead and talked about the event afterwards, right? 2 days before that, they talked about LVO tickets opening up. 2 days before that, it was the Atlantic City News. And then there was a break, and we go back to like the June time where they did some stuff, mostly community chat posts, kind of all that stuff. And it goes back, and it's comes in waves and goes. But we're seeing in July, like late June through to July, we're seeing consistency in their posting schedules, and it's really good to see. It's really healthy to see. They're highlighting local communities. They are talking about the game in different parts of the world. They are talking about what is going on, right? Yeah, Crone said it there. Things are trending in the right direction on the Seamon communication front. They are. Let's be very honest to them. They are getting better. Let's see if this continues. The thing that we want to see is this continuing. Like, this wants to be. I'm not expecting to post every day. Like that would be optimistic and just be realistic. Not true. But if it's once a week, that's fine. Like once a week is fine. I probably want it a little bit more often if they're actually doing stuff of substance. Once a week is fine. Like 2 times a week if it's not really any substance to it. Like here, them posting about the Polish National Championships is great, but there's not really any substance to the post. You know that this doesn't take long to write and put out there and get it sent out. But it's the fact that they are doing it at all, which is really good. Gaines says, will that High Ground Hobby surprise support looks clean? Yeah, I would say the stuff for High Ground. I don't believe it is these. I don't actually know if it is these or not. I think it's more likely to be the prize support in terms of the boxes. But I mean, I'm not going to lie. These prizes are awesome. Those prizes are sick. Much rather some of the stuff I've seen. Stiffneck Studio. They're relaying things the community is already doing, though, right? Not like they're discussing upcoming releases, product roadmap, game updates. No, you are right there, Randall. Like, it isn't. They aren't communicating the stuff that we want the business to communicate typically, but they aren't like. Let's be honest, right? Genuinely, let's be honest. When was the last time we saw Seamon admit there was going to be a problem? Okay, it's not necessarily them saying it's their problem, but when was the last time we saw them even address the problem? And the last time would have been the LVO stuff. This is all stuff that's changed when Adam's kicked in. Do you think it's positive? Do you think they're handling things in the right way? And it's better than it was. So I have I'm cautiously optimistic, and I know that's dangerous to say, but I am cautiously optimistic. All right then. So that is that. There's also, I'm probably going to. I'll talk about a couple of things, but I'm going to look to start winding down. I think, because there are a few other things I'm probably going to mention today as well. Which is, oops, that's not what I want. Well, it is what I want. Leads. So I know that a lot of players are signed up for Leads already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 people signed up for Leads already. There's spaces for more. We are hoping to get more of the UK players down to Leeds, or across to Leeds, or up to Leeds, depending on where you come from. If you are looking to get to Leeds, please come along to Leeds at the start of August. Mikkel says, let's summon the patch, guys. Yeah, I was talking with Mikkel briefly prior to this episode, and I'm not going to go dive into the full patch, but it's what kind of echoing what I said 2 weeks ago, where I think there's not enough experimenting. At least it doesn't feel like it. And also, it really doesn't feel like that there's that many high-level players experimenting with the meta that much and playing each other. Like, that's actually the big thing. Like, if you actually look at the top players, and I'm going to use the top 10, but like top 20, top 30 is fine. Like, I played a little bit with Carlo this season, but like, I've not played anyone else on this list of players outside of Mark significantly this season. Where's the next one down? Corellian, big guy's doing really well at the moment. Like, I've not really played anyone in the top 30 that much. That's not to say I haven't played them at all, but I haven't played them that much. So as a result, like, the patch feels stale, but it also feels like people like Mikkel, we're not changing ranking significantly. We're just kind of like maintaining where we are because we're not playing as the other players at the top here, the people who are actually likely to beat us with regularity. And I think that's the big thing, is that unless you're playing people in here, like, you're going so far down the list that it almost doesn't matter anymore. So, and that's not to say that players, like, just a ranking is a number, right? It's not actually a proof of skill per se. There are players down here who are very decent players. But it's more indicative, I think. Or certainly it feels like it. So there's not a huge number of games outside of when we saw the team tournament being played at a high level, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, of course. As a result, the meta feels a bit more stale because you're not seeing good players truly try and bring unique tech. And I'm not saying that there is unique tech available, but like Carlo made his Roost list specifically designed to beat Night's Watch, for example. We're not seeing that as much in the big factions, in my opinion. The people at the top trying to push the top to the next level. Which is where I'll be doing and what I'll be doing in the next couple of months. I'm going to re-enter that fight and that struggle because it's 2 months till the US for me. So I'm going to start doing that now. And there may be a patch between now and then. I kind of hope that there isn't. I kind of hope there is. I don't really know. We'll see. See what happens. Imperial True, they're getting ahead of the canon distribution issue. Yeah, they are. They are, Randall. Let's be honest. They're getting ahead of the issues and they're resolving them from Seamon's side. So yeah, please do attend. Please, 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 if you're in the UK and you are listening to this, or you've got friends who are listening to this, please try and get yourself along to the Leeds event there in the circuit, the Leeds event, because I think it will be really good, and it will be one of the last big events before the GT in the UK, which is late September. We also have a couple of other things coming up. This is stuff that started. We have got a TTS event starting soon, so just bear in mind there. I believe that it is Jacob running this one, running an online TTS event where it's no holds barred, run what you want. That's coming up in a couple of weeks, I believe, the start date. Or, yeah, a couple of weeks. All right, so I don't really have anything else to add. I'll do this now. I'll do the announcement first, and I'll do tournaments afterwards. because I'll go through tournaments and mention what's coming up and things like that. Generally speaking, in case you hadn't probably guessed, it's a bit of a struggle to do this every week at the moment. I mentioned at the start of the episode about what I've been trying to sort out and get sorted in my personal life, but that is probably going to continue for the next month, 2 months, most likely. It's been a long process, and it's not been the nicest thing to have to deal with. I would expect to have to kind of let's put it like this: I'm still resolving it this week, and then it'll be a couple of months of kind of time to let it settle. As a result, episodes are going to be more sporadic. They're simply going to be more sporadic. We're talking maybe once every 2 weeks rather than once a week, and that's partially because there's less for me to talk about. And I will run episodes when I believe there's stuff to talk about. Like, I believe there's a few things to talk about. There's plenty of awesome zeros to give out to some fantastic models and painting efforts that people have put into. But there's simply less to talk about at the moment while we're in kind of like a pending stage. There will be streams, there will be things that I do, there will be aspects I want to teach and things like that, but I'm also not massively in the mood of teaching at the moment. I need to take myself back to the drawing board. I need to take my lists, my own skill back to the drawing board a little bit, relearn the basics, relearn certain matchups, certain things. So as a result, I'm probably not going to be dedicating the same amount of time and effort into the Mondays as I was with the reduced times. So I'll still be running episodes. You can still catch them out, but you're probably looking at every 2 weeks rather than every 1 week. Episodes will still run on a Monday, and I will still potentially do something if there's a significant piece of news come out. If you feel like there's something you want me to cover in the article in the Monday sessions, do feel free to drop me a message, and I'll cover it. Also, I wanted to talk about. So that was me and the show. I am still looking to do it, but it's just things at the moment. We also have another kind of not piece of news, but just something I want to mention, which is the Grand Tournament in Valencia, the GT in Valencia. So we've got the Valencia Grand Tournament, and it's sponsored by all kinds of different people. This is a rather large event, up to 40 players running in Valencia. They've already got 32 people signed up. And this is part of their kind of big 7 GTs they're running. They're running what basically is a War of the Seven Kingdoms. And I won't go into the full details, but basically this is not the first. I think this is the third, I think. It's very similar to what they did a couple of years ago with the Clash of Kings cycle. And the winner of these will get invited to the final GT as well as some other players from Spain. And then the overall Spanish Nationals winner will attend, hopefully, what will be the Eurasian tournament that Seamon have been posting about and briefly talked about during their live streams, with these kind of regional, large, continental events rather than national events. So we'll see how that kind of works out and where that goes from there. So that's the Valencia Grand Tournament happening at the start of August as well. So same weekend as Leeds. This is the second one. Thank you, Mikael. No, not the third. It's the second. Brian says, or Post says, I think it's fine to take things slow. Doing this weekly for such a long time is already impressive. Well, thanks, Post. It's been a bit difficult kind of a couple of months. But we'll be bringing it back. Hopefully with more vengeance. Brian says, cool to have you back when you can. Don't always get Mondays free to listen, but it's always worth a listen. Thanks, Bri. Cheers. Even with Carlo. Yeah, what a dickhead. Randall, this is the perfect time to take it slow with someone's fire, waiting on a new faction to drop, a new update to drop, and a new suite of products. Yeah, great time for everyone to refresh a little bit. I'm actually the fan that this is the time where you want to do some modelling, but also play more games. I do think that there's a lot to learn, a lot to develop, There's still a lot that people could be doing during this time, and there's a lot of players, myself included, who need to... I don't believe that playing more games makes you better, but playing more games gives you the opportunity to get better, and I do believe I need to get better. So I'll be playing some more games because I need the opportunity to develop my skill set, and part of that will also be trying out very unique lists and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing in the run up to some of the events and stuff that I've got coming up that I really want to do quite well in. But that's me. Everyone else obviously has their own targets, their own kind of like envisions, and sometimes and I know that Monsters and Munchkins was going through a slump, and I said you should still go along to your event. It's important to go along to events. You'll enjoy it when you go, and even if you're in a bit of a slump and you're not winning games and you don't really know why and you don't really know how to develop, if you go along and just enjoy yourself, play the games for the game's sake, enjoy the games, meet some cool people, have a good weekend, you'll get more out of it. And sure enough, he goes along, he enjoys the weekend, and he won a few games, he loses a few games, but like, yeah, it's good stuff. It's just sometimes just playing and doing the hobby aspect and just existing. The game's in a really good balance at the moment, right? I keep saying this every bloody episode. The game is in good balance. There's a few things that are a bit annoying, but the game's in good balance. Go and enjoy the game. I'm going to smash my own view account here, ready? If you're watching this for 1 to 2 hours on a Monday, that's 1 or 2 hours you could be playing a game of A Song of Ice and Fire. If you're listening this for 1 or 2 hours on like your Monday morning commute, your Tuesday morning commute, sorry, be it from work or to work in the morning, or from work on a Monday, I guess, if you're in the US, don't commute. Just play a game of A Song of Ice and Fire instead, right? Just don't go to work and play A Song of Ice and Fire. In fact, no, that's a really piece of bad. Don't listen to my advice. Clearly, I'm talking bollocks. Evan says it's unacceptable. I demand 14 hours of fresh, exciting content every Monday, Mickey. Yeah, that's true. 14 hours. God, watch me sleep. Post says people don't want balance, they want change. Yeah, there's always that. People want change. Data says this is during my lunch at work. Yeah. See, I started saying guys don't watch this and go and play games, and the viewer count dropped. See, this is my lunch. Jesus, can't you just eat lunch instead of anything? You can't play Song of Ice and Fire on the toilet, Mickey. Randall, just own a tablet and play TTS on the toilet, Randall. Come on, get better. Evan, I crave change. Yeah, I'm at work watching this. US. Nathan, I will play, but it's not balanced if I don't play. I mean, that's fair enough, Nathan. I won't dive into that absolute minefield of balance because, as I said, the game is absolutely balanced as all hell for those people. I mean, just let's this is just like, what's the top faction? Free folk, and the bottom faction is neutrals. I mean, I usually would say let's just disclude neutrals, but I'll use Starks. Neutrals is a bit unfair. But like, yeah, it's not the best matchups in the world. Let's change this to be, I don't know, Eddard. 58, great draw number. 60. So yeah, it's not the best matchups in the world, but they're not really bad. Like, if you're playing someone of roughly equal skill, the odds are not terrible, right? And we're talking about someone running like borderline the best stuff in the game. Yeah. Like, that's fine. Actually, I will say this, right? TTS on your laptop. Yeah, like, the game is fairly balanced. Like, this is by far the lowest spread we've seen. If you disclude neutrals, because neutrals aren't a faction. 60 to minus 28 is only a spread of 88 different points difference. 88 point difference, or 89 when you account for the points. 89 point difference is very low. Like, we've seen factions up at nearly 100 themselves. Yeah. That doesn't mean that Free Folk are not, like, clear winners. But, like, look at second place. 44 to minus 28. Difference is 73. When you account for the pluses. 74 maybe rounding. Only person that's... So, I'll just catch up. Yeah, but only person that is always free is Psycho Steve, so we try and work around that to get good games in. Yeah, that's true, Brian. You should definitely work around when Psycho Steve is free to avoid him and play games that aren't him. No, I'm joking. Steve's great. Data, but I'm still playing about 1 game a week. Good. Used to be 2 to 3 games, but been playing some Shatterpoint recently. Yeah, fair enough, Data. Yeah. a glass half full take. Yeah, it is evil. Like, it is a glass half full take because I know it's been worse, and that doesn't mean that it can't be better, right? I'm never going to sit here and say the balance can't be better. But yeah. I do think the balance could always be better, right? But like complaining about the balance as it stands right now is just like it's just cringe. It's kind of cringe because like it's really not that bad. I did like this though, right? Martell, Armanel and Martell, ironically at the top. Finally, Jon Snow is coming up to the table. He is only a few points behind Styr. Literally like 4 or 5 points. Probably yawning. So yeah, Jon Snow is coming up the rankings, which is good to see. It's about time he entered near the top. Because we've all said it for a long ass time. He just needed the completely unnecessary buffs. All right then. So let's run through what we've got next weekend. Anyway, or this weekend, we've got a 30-point event happening in Poznan in Poland this week. It's a 30-point in Poznan. We've got an event in Russia. I'm guessing in Simferopol. Forgive my lack of Cyrillic. Oh no, Crimea, in the Crimea. Oh, interesting. Which is Russia, Crimea. Well, it's near Sevastopol and Yalta, kind of near them anyway. Cool. So that's Simperfol, an event happening there, just a small event. We've got an event happening in La Loupe in France, in the Chateau de Voix. We've got an event happening in Mons in Belgium. It's good to see. We've got an event happening in Sizzling Sword. Amazing name. Absolutely amazing name for an event. Sizzling Swords and Savoury Sausages. A Battle for the Brat in Tilst, Denmark. Amazing. Like, no information as well. Like, absolutely amazing. I really hope that. Have they got any players signed up? They do. Yeah, awesome. That's awesome. Love it. Absolutely love it. Kazan Hot July. I'm guessing that's in Kazan in Russia. And it's in July. And 10 people going. Kazan Hot July, Man Games. We've got La Tienda Scum, which is happening in Barcelona in Spain. This is their 15th event. Wow, 15th event. Absolutely amazing. This weekend as well. We've got another event happening in Spain in Cuenca. Probably butchered that. The first Asado Harrenhal. Asado, is that like tournament? I don't know. Asado? I have no idea what that is in Spanish. The event in Gdansk, the Krom guys getting back together in Gdansk for an event this weekend as well. I'm going to count them as we go. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got happening Chromatic X Midgard bi-monthly event. This is happening in Derry, New Hampshire, in the US. Fantastic to see that one. Number 10. We've got an event happening at Dragon's Den Games in Saskatoon in Canada. Saskatoon, Canada. Number 11. We've got a pair of dice games. The Westerosi Tango. Love it. In Hacienda Drive, Vista, California, USA. Happening this weekend as well. We've got the Shanghai Fight Club. It's back for its July edition. Happening in, strange enough, Shanghai. So, yeah, there we go. That's happening this weekend as well. We've got another event happening in Russia, this time in Hobby Games. I'm not going to read it out, guys. I can't read Cyrillic. We've got an event happening in Maison Alfort in France as well. That's awesome to see as well. Sunday, Negative Yellow tournament in Poznan in Poland, but it's Negative Yellow only. So they're running a Negative Yellow face-to-face event in Poznan. We've got a 30-point event happening in the Netherlands on Sunday in Glien. Which is good to see. And Warband monthly sorter in Kiev, Ukraine. Awesome stuff. Good to see a Ukrainian scene growing in Kiev, of all things. We've also got the Cage of Trolls. Le Cage aux Trolls. I'm guessing it's the Cage of Trolls. In Café Ludique in Saint-Jean-Christomer in Quebec, Canada. On Repas Le Machin. Probably butchered all of this. And we've also got the Gamers Havens July Song of Ice and Fire happening in Spokane, WA. WA is Wyoming? No. Ooh, that was nice. I was not expecting that. It was way nicer than I thought it was expecting to be. WA is Washington. Oh, cool. So Gaming Havens, but not the Gamers Haven that we know. It's the Gamers Haven up in Spokane Valley up in Washington. Not an area I've seen playing the game before, I have to admit. So that's great to see. And all of this is this weekend. So what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 events this weekend across, 19 events this weekend, 1 this week. So really looking forward to see all the cool pictures that come out of that. If there's anything you want to send me or anything like that, pictures of obviously units and cool painted armies, by all means. Check out the Valencia GT and also the Leeds circuit events as well on stats. Evan also saying that in 2 weeks' time they have the regional qualifier in Minnesota. I would turn up, Evan, but I can't afford to flying to Minnesota twice in the same year. Is Matt still that good, or is no one playing him anymore, says Anders? Partially no one's playing him. His play rate has dropped significantly. But also he is still not terrible. So take it with what you will. But yeah, his play rate is fallen off a cliff, if you check the stats. His play rate, he played 18 games in June. He's season 2, he's played 129 games with barely representing 10% in any given time, which is pretty bad, given that he used to be 50% of matches, nearly 50% of total faction pick rates, 5% of total pick rates, by the way, which is nuts. So yeah, So, Mance not getting represented in the same way as he used to. So he is dropping, like you can see here, his last 50. It's not dropping significantly, but he is dropping. Or trending downwards, I should say. Yeah, balance is as good as it could be, but I feel like I can take my Targs, my most played faction on Greyjoys, my second most played, and have an okay chance versus any faction. Yeah, that's the thing, Data. I genuinely think I can probably beat any faction with any faction. I don't rate my chances against Night's Watch that high, and the reason I say Night's Watch is that Night's Watch require certain counters that I just don't think some factions have. Not effectively, anyway. I think that other factions, so I think Free Folk, ironically, I think you can beat Free Folk, I think, with certain opening plays. Because you can beat Free Folk with those openers, as long as you then maintain it, and kind of force the Free Folk player into having to make difficult decisions, you can kind of beat Free Folk with any faction, because the tools to beat Free Folk are available to every faction. The problem is that it doesn't mean it's easy. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's easy, it's not. Whereas I think Night's Watch, beating Night's Watch, some factions simply don't have the tools. Which I think is weird. Or certainly not what it is. He's still good, Vance is still good, but more fun playing Mag for most now. Yeah, he is. Yeah, Mag's fun. I personally don't like Mag that much, but that's just my take. Data is if I can take a bottom faction, I feel like I can still compete. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's about. And they're having a regional qualifier in Helena in Montana on the 29th. Been building the community since I showed up in October. I expect 8 to 10 players. Nice work, Data. Doing the work. Alright then, guys. Well, we've slowly dropped off in the last 10 minutes because people really don't care about the tournament side, which I think is odd. But yeah, people always disconnect. But I do appreciate your time with me today. I'll probably be back. I don't know if we'll be back next week. As I said, I'll probably be back. Well, depends. I might be back next week depending on what news we see coming out of this week, but you can almost definitely expect me on the 31st, because on the 31st, in theory, we will have all of the new units to go through, all of the new stats, all of the cool new rules, the Darkstar Retinue, the Lannister Guard, the Neutral Heroes box, the Lannister Gold Cloak, sorry, the Martells, and what was the other one? I can't remember the fourth one coming out that day. Let's go back to France will tell me. Maxi Reeves. Targ Pit Fighters. We'll discuss probably on that 31st. So yeah, might not be about next week, but the week after I can definitely tell you that I will be. So yes, have an absolutely wonderful day today, the rest of the week. Enjoy your games, enjoy your tournaments if you're attending a tournament. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Sign up for events like the Leeds Circuit if you're in the UK, or Valencia GT if you're in Spain. And I will see you in probably 2 weeks' time. Maybe next week. Depends. Depends if the rules come out. See you later, guys.
Ready? Aim!
There's too many!
Anyone see my mammoth?
Stubby!